to welcome Arlene Callan, Director for Scotland for People Plus, part of the Staffline group that I didn't realise existed until a number of years ago. Brightwork were bought by Staffline a number of years ago, and when I was introduced to the business at People Plus, it really blew my mind, the size and the scale of what they do in helping people into work and giving them that support and guidance at the very, very start. So without me going on too much longer, Arlene, thank you for joining us. I'm delighted to have you here.
Thanks for the introduction, Shan. And yeah, as you say, we are a part of the group. We are by far probably one of the largest providers across the UK of skills, education and employability provision. I'm going to speak to you specifically today about what we do in Scotland. In Scotland, we are a prime provider, so that's a main contractor for Scottish Government on their flagship employability programme, which is called Fair Start Scotland. Fair Start Scotland was commissioned in 2018 to help people from disadvantaged backgrounds, but primarily people that are unemployed to move back into work. So People Plus do that provision across two specific areas in Scotland, namely Glasgow and the Highlands and Islands of Scotland. There's another 7 providers that we work alongside that cover the rest of Scotland, who we've got fantastic relationships as well. So let me talk to you a little bit about what Fair Start Scotland is and the type of work that we do there. So we work alongside our partners and relationship holders through DWP, the Job Centre Plus, who they will make referrals to our programmes on a daily basis. We handle somewhere in the region of between 300 and 500 referrals, that's Glasgow alone, on a monthly basis. And we work with these individuals to understand where they are in their journey and what it is that's perhaps preventing them from moving back into work. And we will devise an action plan to support them into work. We sign on to the programme between 200 and 300 people a month. And we will caseload them with one of our key workers who are experienced colleagues that have worked with individuals who may be suffering from multiple challenges in their lifestyle, or it could be a history of things going on there, but they are qualified individuals who work with a caseload of up to 40 people to support them. That support will involve both creating that action plan. There may be things in there about health and well-being. There may be advice in there about money matters. There may be different types of support, but namely, it is about moving them or progressing them towards employability.
So this is, Arlene, at the core of it, you're helping and giving support and guidance to those who are quite far off being ready to work yet, and you're getting them kind of work ready. Is that the best way to, would you say that's a good, fair description?
That's exactly right, Shan. So it's getting them work ready and ensuring that support is tailored to that individual on a one-to-one basis. So it could involve training courses, about building up their CV. We get regular feedback from employers about the CVs that we put out towards employers, that they're to a fantastic standard, and in some respects actually to a higher standard than they may be getting in through their own VA recruitment. So we've got some fantastic examples of where that comes in from employers. We do listen to employers as well. So we have an employer engagement team that would speak to employers in terms of gaps they may have in their recruitment and what they're looking for in a good recruit. And where Fair Start Scotland can help is that we can train people up. Now that can be part of that employer's training that we could take off the employer and build that into our training courses. It may be things as simple as a specific ticket or course that they need to work in that sector. So we can support unemployed people to get ready for work by equipping them with those essential skills and training tickets that might be necessary for a particular sector as well.
Interestingly, Arlene, at Brightwork in Scotland, we've started to work with you guys at People Plus. We're all part of the same organisation, which is great, and you're now starting to give us a flow of candidates to certain of our customer sites. Right. So once you get them work ready and through the Fair Start Scotland scheme, they're then coming to us. We're going through the registration process and we're putting them out to work. So you can see how that cycle of tapping into the labour pool. And I think for us, That's really important, because it's about trying to give that support to maybe those candidates that you're able to access that we wouldn't have been able to help straight off the bat, if that makes sense. So that's given us another lifeline and a labour pool, but actually supporting those potential employees or potential candidates, which is great. Great.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think that what we find from a lot of employers we work with is being able to give something back, you know, and supporting a lot of these disadvantaged people. You know, the social recruitment element in there does play a part. And you know, most employers want to help and ensure that they are getting to this different or to this group that perhaps may not be visible otherwise. So yeah, Sean, I think the work we're doing already really demonstrates that. The added benefit that Fair Start Scotland then brings once these colleagues go into work is that we can then offer support up to 52 weeks. So we're there as an extension to that employer's own internal support measures that they may need. So that can be anything in terms of, you know, it could be offering interview clothes, for example. Mm-hmm. It could be supporting with travel costs, etc., until the colleague gets their first wage packet. So there's things like that in there as well that we support our customers to ensure that have they been unemployed for a bit of time, you know, that any of those initial barriers do not re-emerge. So we do put that support in place as well. And as I say, that support is up to 52 weeks. It's there for that individual as well, which is a real benefit.
That sounds absolutely brilliant, because that's the part where a lot of these of the customers you're talking about that are coming into the workplace, you can't just let them fall off a cliff. Really, you need to give them that support to make sure that they're continually engaged and picking up on any of the issues that they may have straight off. You know, week 1, week 2, or week 3. So yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. So I get it. I get it. That's great. So tell me a bit more about what is there any other parts of People Plus then that you think can be worthy just having a little bit of a chat about, that we could talk through any other areas of what you're doing? So how you
yeah, absolutely. And as I say, that's specifically in Scotland that we're doing that. The Start Scotland contract. We also got another programme that operates in Scotland, which is through Skills Development Scotland, which is a similar employability programme. What I would say about that programme is probably working with people that's perhaps a bit closer to the labour market. And you've got programmes available at the moment where they are supporting people that may be at risk of redundancy. And that's individuals where we can put quite a sharp action plan in place to get them back into work. So, you know, that particular programme looks at courses, training courses like forklift truck licences, for example, where you may have customers that have worked in a certain industry, and if they were to get a licence such as a forklift truck licence, we can move them quite quickly into work. So unlike Fair Start Scotland, that programme is probably looking at people that's a bit closer and probably are likely to have come from as a result of the current pandemic we're in, and have become unemployed or at risk of being unemployed in the last 12 months.
Okay, wow, that's another kind of key part to what's been going on in the world and what you're kind of doing to support and help them. So quite diverse, really broad, genuinely offering service to those people in the employment market that are harder to reach for employers, if that makes sense. So you're that connection, that part that's going to let them give those potential workers those opportunities, and the employers can get that reach. That's a really worthwhile part of what you guys do, and that's really good to hear. So, yeah. Arlene, we're going to continue as we go forward with we'll be getting different people from the scheme. Oh, don't worry, everybody's got dogs barking. Don't worry, not a problem. And we'll continue and speak to other people from People Plus about the different areas that they cover and what they do, and we'll go into a bit more depth. But as an overview and as a kickoff, you've done a brilliant job, Arlene. So thank you so much for your time.
Enjoyed it, Sean. Thank you.
Good. And is it a pool table or is it a snooker table?
It's a snooker table, believe it or not, in the background, yeah. I think some people get quite envious because they think that I'm sat somewhere in a pub. I wish I was. But in Scotland, hopefully in the next few weeks, that will become true. But yeah, it's the games room.
Brilliant. Okay, Arlene, lovely. Well, thanks for your time, and have a good game of snooker if you can get that in this evening.
Aye.
Cheers now.
Thank you.